Well, hi, good morning, and thank you for joining me in my shop here. Today is September 20th, and I have on my bench right now two radios. So, the last couple of days I haven't posted a video, but I have been in here working on this guy, trying to put his string back on. And I took a very, very cautious, slow, careful, step-by-step approach. And after about, 2 hours of steady progress, I got it all on. It's fantastic. Probably about 2 hours to get it on. And then, how dumb of me to even look, I noticed I had crossed the string right here where it comes out of the main wheel. So I thought, well, you know what, I can unhook one, like the steel wire here, pull it up, put it back through, everything will be straightened out, nothing will fall off, everything will be great. Well, the reason I'm not working on that radio is because everything fell off and the frustration level just went right through the roof on me yesterday. And I realized I can't continue working on this right now. I have too much frustration built up in it. So why not try another radio? So yes, this one has a string problem too, but that's not what I'm going to try to deal with today. Today is about the intermittent problem in this radio I discovered last time around. By poking around, it seemed to be related to this heat dissipation fin here, and maybe some of the components. So the problem is probably bad solder underneath, so I have to get the board out. This is what I'm going to work on because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have success with it. Well, sure as you can be when you do these things. And stay away from the frustration machine next to me for another day or so. Looks like this. So this part I may just leave on because it's not coming off. That's a good reason to leave it on, isn't it? It has some little clips in here. 2 little clips. Yeah, I can't quite see how it works. So we'll leave this on as best we can. Try to take this part out. It's going to be held in by screws. So I see a screw here into the cabinet, a screw here. Look, this one's not even all the way down. Screw here. That's also not all the way down. Well, why would that be? And it looks like probably one more screw way down in there. Looks like when you release these screws, you're going to release this white plastic piece here, which is holding the antenna and who knows what else. Back of the dial. I don't know what else. And I think that's it for screws. 4 screws. Corner screws. This is a different screw from this. This is a different screw. This one looks bigger than this one. Someone's been in here. Well, the reason I've gotten really quiet is it looks like there's a spring arrangement inside here. Okay, don't start the string headache already. Let's take the let's take that out and jeepers creepers. You get a radio like this, you don't expect that it's got that somebody's gone in here and done this, but could not have come from the factory with a plethora of screws. So who's taken this apart before? What were they trying to do? What did they do in the end? What did they do that they lost a couple of screws? That's clearly not the right screw. I often like to guess at the backstory on these things, but I don't know what the guess would be here. Somebody did exactly what I'm doing now for the very same reasons. Okay, screws are out. Let's see if this lifts up. Another screw here. That's just to hold this bracket and I think the antenna. Why didn't you come out? Oh, that's just the buttons were interfering, that's all. What about the antenna now? So I guess we gotta bring the antenna with it. This is held in with one screw. Looking at the wires. Now if one breaks off, it's not so bad. If 2 or 3 break off, it can be a little bit confusing, but got it on video, so here we are. We're going to take a close look at this. The area I'm concerned about, where did it go now? It's right across here. There's a jumper installed right there. Okay, let's take a close look. We'll go from there. My close look camera is the one you were looking through right there. I'm going to take this down. Okay. Let me flip. Okay. Checking the focus here. Let's go right up in the area I'm concerned about. So what I'm looking at are the places where little wires are poking out of the solder. I'm looking right where they go into the solder to see if there appears to be any kind of gapping, cracking. Anything doesn't look solid. See, I'm gonna like this wire up here, but I think that's just black. It's just a black compound on it. Something large soldered right under there. You can see the tab. The solder looks very good. Okay, so that looks a little odd right above my finger there. No? No? Looking at the traces. Nothing jumping out here. Here's another large piece. This is the kind of thing you'd expect to crack. Let's go right around the outside because that's the outside of the piece right here. Maybe one on the other side. Must not come all the way. Yeah, it's about here where my thumb is. It's the other corner of the... Hey, camera. Okay. Let me just set the focus on this camera. Fix it so it's not wandering off like that. That's not me. Just give me a second here. Oh, we're looking right at something that looks like a cold solder joint right there. All in focus too. Let me continue here. Just bringing up the camera dialog box so I can fix the focus right where it is now. Well, that doesn't look very good on the right side where that piece comes across. It does not look proper. Let me poke it a bit. Might not be... let's see about some movement. Oh yeah. It's moving. Right in here. Right in here. What's it doing there? A lot of junk and debris around here too. What is it doing there? A solder joint, solder spot here with a gas bubble. Put a hole in it when they were making it. Right here. Another one over here, which may, no, that's a wire sticking out. Well, this guy is very, very suspicious right here. But let's not be fooled. I think there's only one criminal involved. There could be more. Sometimes these guys have associates. So one thing you can do in these radios, especially if you're trying to track down a problem like this, is just get out the soldering iron and resolder every one of these. The risk there is in the course of doing that, something bad will happen. You won't realize it. And you will have introduced a new problem on top of the one you're trying to correct. Everything else looks pretty good. Why is that there? Why didn't they put a trace? If those things are to be connected together, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be. You know, on the solder blob on the right, the one where the wire's loose, it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, well, we can only guess why it's like that, but what about way down the other parts of the board here? So these little knobby things are the kind that can develop a crack fairly easily. But they look good. They look kind of up where the solder is kind of coming up the wire like a meniscus, I guess would be the word for it. And you look at that, how smooth and even it is, and it looks great. There's a hole with nothing in it. That's pretty odd looking too. What would this be? Very odd. Also look at the solder where it meets up with the trace for lifting, and there's another hole. That's very odd looking. Very odd. What happened there? That you got solder on both sides of the... Oh, that's not copper. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Let's not spend time on it. Small things fascinate me. Another hole. Everything looks just fine. I don't see any evidence that there's some overall cracking problem here anywhere, except for that one wire. It's definitely right in the area I found sensitive. Well, we'll solder that and see if we can't operate this radio. And no, I should not solder it. I should operate the radio, see the problem, solder it, see the problem go away. Because the intermittent problems, you know, the deal with intermittent problems is they're intermittent. So sometimes you can do something and think you solved it, and the intermittent problem's gone for a while, and maybe put something all back together, and then find out, hey, they did not fix it. Okay, we'll try operating this next. Okay, let's see if we can make this guy operate or not. Got 0 volts from the power supply right now. There we go. Okay. That could be even just taking it apart has caused the problem to dissipate. That might be a good word for it. Here we go. Bingo. It's working. Ooh. I have a little bit of trouble explaining what was happening there. This might be, I don't know. This might be, I don't know. I don't know what was happening. Okay, give me my stick. Where's my wooden poking stick? I'm going to go right at the problem area. Oop, what was that? Wow, something's very sensitive. Oh, good. This is it. Push the spot right beside it here. Same response. I'm holding the stick a little like a drumstick, and the idea is there's very little mass on the stick, and you can get very controlled tapping. There's something right over here. Yeah, I'm getting into it. I'm looking carefully at where every strike is hitting and listening. Pretty obvious. Something very sensitive here, and it seems to be a little bit over here. The radio is so sensitive. Any pressure on the board causes a change. Could be some other. The way I've got this just junked in here on my bench, maybe something is touching something. Incredibly sensitive. Right in there. Well, it looks like a general resoldering is required here because I can't really be sure what it is, other than to say it's pretty surely over here. Really? Take this foam away, it's not doing anything anyway. So, an interesting thing has happened. When I took the foam away, the solder here is not shiny. It's corroded under the under the foam. Wow, very sensitive right in here. So you have two areas of sensitivity. We should take a close look at this with the close-up camera. What about under here? Again, I don't know. Yeah, the foam has promoted some corrosion, and that's what's happened here. Is the foam itself a problem? Did it somehow become conductive? Wow. Okay, let's take a look with the close-up camera at what we've got here. So under the foam is right here. So you see right in the center of the screen, you can see a green colored wire sticking out and white material all on top of the solder. The white material is going to be some corrosion product of the solder. Solder's lead and tin. That could be some kind of lead. Corrosion. Lead corrodes into all kinds of interesting colors. That's why it's used in paint a lot. Beautiful white in one case. You get a nice red in another case. Look at that. It just looks like it's been eaten. Oh. So I think what we're looking at, dead center of the screen now, a wire tail sticking through the solder. The very top of the tail is more or less copper colored, and around it is a sleeve of corrosion product. And much of the copper has converted into what could be anything, copper chloride, copper sulfate, could be anything, copper something, which is the characteristic blue color everywhere here. Everywhere. The foam has attacked the radio. What's the holes there? Oh my God, the copper didn't completely corrode away, did it? And there's nothing, no. Really? Is that possible? So just in the upper right, I'll put it in the center, is a capacitor. And it appears to be pretty much destroyed too. It's pretty weird looking. It looks like it's wearing a hat. And you can see, oh, he's got a hole in his underwear. Something's hanging out between his legs there. Is that from the foam? I wouldn't guarantee it. But those, you know, the solder with the holes, that's really weird. Well, we saw how much metal could disappear in that one piece we were looking at here. And is it possible? Well, what's on the other side? We'll take a look in a minute. I can get individual. Now we'll go up the other foam areas up here. The first one I found. Again, the copper's gone green. It's possible the foam is simply a place for moisture to collect, but I think much more than that's going on. The foam is no longer foam. It's turned into a weird powder structure. So some materials have left. Something chemically has happened to the foam. And yeah. So what's the option here? We'll clean this up a little more and look at it more closely. Get out the soldering iron and beat the heck out of it. I really would want to look at the any amount of movement makes that sound. So. It's not, you know what, I think this sound I'm chasing is actually being caused by something else. Or I've already corrected it. Okay, so there's two holes here. What's on the other side? Let me cut the power off here. What's on the other side? So I'll put my finger right on the spot. Oh, put my finger right on the spot. Turn it over. Right in here. Well, I don't see anything offhand. Definitely holes all over this board with nothing in them, so this board is like multi-purpose, I guess. I think it's meaningless, myself. I think it's meaningless. I think there's nothing there. Okay, so I'll get out the soldering iron, and we'll do these a section, a section, a section, and we'll see if any of this makes any difference. But didn't I just notice that if you hold the reader right, it doesn't do anything? Did I just see that? Let's try it again. Power back up. Hello. Who's rubbing on who here? Where'd the sound go? Hey, what happened? All I did was flip my power supply, the little power supply we're using, which is right behind here. I flipped them onto current so I could watch the current on the radio go up and down, perhaps, while we're doing this. And as soon as I flipped it, everything got normal. Fucking. Well, not everything. Oh, here we are. Okay. So the power's coming right up in here. If I'm not careful. What happened to all the intermittent stuff? Turn the power off here. Lay this down. Okay, lay this down. Lay this down. Like that. Power it back on. Mr. Intermittent. Sorry about that. I kind of left you staring up yonder. Was it my power connection the whole time? Well, now, the question is there still an intermittent problem there? I haven't done anything. This white wire was disconnected for a minute. Well, it's fixed. That's good. No, there's still something going on here. Okay, a fair bit of time's just gone by because my computer hard drive once again got jammed with files and everything came to a halt. So I have corrected that. There's some space again. In the meantime, I went ahead and I resoldered all the connections here that appear to have been affected by possible corrosion. And I made a little discovery. I noticed these guys right here. This is kind of unusual looking arrangement. It kind of looks like contacts that you'd expect the radio to press up against contacts. I wonder, well, what would that be? Well, look, if we just look on the other side, there's that switch. There's the sliding contacts that are sliding across this somehow. It's just a terrible looking arrangement. This is quite wide here. How does this ever work? The contacts, surfaces, just about right. About that far apart. Hard to tell, but I think there's separate pieces here. Two separate sliding pieces. Probably not. It's probably one piece of metal here, constantly in contact with this, and then selecting either this or this. But look at the width of the contacts. You know what? It looks like one is skidding here. And the other one would be skidding probably in here. What a strange arrangement. So really what's going on is this is being connected via switch to either here or to here. And almost certainly this has to do with the FM antenna or some kind of antenna thing. So if it's a selector, one or the other. Seems pretty strange to me. I mean, it's not that strange, but it seems like an extremely flimsy way to do this. And that's what they came up with. I just want to do a little. Yeah, there. So it's a solid piece of metal through here. And this is a plastic rivet. They just had a plastic shaft and then used a melting thing to melt it down on. It's not much. That's a really, really flimsy. You know, it almost looks like an afterthought. Or late in the design game, they decided to do that. Who knows? So, well, okay. So radio's resoldered. Let me get it into a position here where I think it can be operated without bits and pieces shorting out to things. Like that. Something like that. We've got the power still connected. Well, let's see what happened after running the soldering iron over it. Here we go. Okay, just check the voltage. I'm sending over 6 volts. That's a little better. Sounds pretty healthy. Now, these contacts are not in contact with anything. It's supposed to be one or the other all the time. And I got the switch off. So is a good part of the radio missing here while I'm doing this? I don't know if I can short it. Using my hand. You can't use a tool with your hand. No labeling on the switch for what it is. No external, yeah, there's an external antenna connection, but see how they've done it here? It's just a wire straight over to here, so this is always connected. There's no switch involved. So what is this switch doing? It's right over here by the tuner. What is the switch doing? I don't know. And this capacitor has foam shoved under it. I think they had like a piece of paper with foam glued to it, and they shoved it under. It's still there, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. What about all that? No, I don't see anything going on here anymore. Oh. I heard a little something. Oh, just moved it a bit. Turned it up by accident there. Well, I'm not going to be able to fit this on without putting it all back together properly, I think. So, what could that switch be? Let's power it off. Take a look at the other side. Get it ready to reassemble, because that's where it's going next. Well, wait a minute, I'm not going to put it back in until I have the string on. Yikes. Okay, so the switch is down under here. That would be the switch. And it's just like I said. Selecting something. It's all buried under there. Don't know. Don't know what it's doing. Okay. Now, what are we going to do next to this thing? Go to work on the string. Without that connection in place down there, is the radio operating normally in any way? The switch, possibly what the switch is doing. Normally an AM is operating off this loop. Shortwave probably operating off the loop also. Loop is no good for shortwave. People are going to put in external antenna. You put the external antenna in, you throw the switch on the back. Why wouldn't they label that switch? Why wouldn't they label that switch? It's definitely not labeled. Absolutely not labeled. Whoops, 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 everything falling on. Okay, options. I need to examine the string. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to go on the assumption I've solved the intermittent problem. And next video will be me on the string. Oh my god, strings. String here. String there. Killing me. It's killing me. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching this video, though. And see what happens next.